20 papers, that's $2 plus tip.
Hey, Anthony and Andrew, can I ask you guys a question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Which one of you guys wants to hold my clipboard?
I'll do it all day, 24/7. All week, 24/7.
What is up, all of you jitbags out there in podcast
jitbag
land, and welcome to Sleaze Bag Cinema. My name is Mike Jamison. I am one of your hosts, and with me, I almost said tonight, but with me early, God, so early, this morning, is my co-host, Andrew Gross. Andrew, how in the hell are you?
Michael, I am rolling.
I always like to hear that. And with us, I think you heard his laughter in the background as I made my funny comment to start off the episode. Is our
And
special...
let me just say, before you introduce him, no, folks, this is not Trace Adkins. This is not Sam Elliott. This is Mike.
It's also not Shadow Stevens. There you go. It's a blast from the past. No, it's not any of those people. They would never come on this podcast. But we were able to wrangle him early in the morning after a college football game yesterday. Anthony, otherwise known as TIN FOIL Consortium. Anthony, how in the hell are you today?
Yeah, it's a long story, Andrew. No, I'm good. I've got my coffee and the early morning routine sorted.
Yes, a little bit behind the scenes. We are all old men, and we have so much to do. Anthony. I have too many A's on this show today. Andrew's gonna mow the lawn after this. I mowed the lawn on Friday night. I don't know what. Anthony will probably do something way more interesting than that. I have to go to a fall ball baseball game. So we're recording early on a Sunday morning, which is just the perfect time for Sleaze, right?
Exactly.
like it's early on a Sunday morning with our morning coffees.
When is it not a good time for Sleaze? I mean, come on.
That's very true. And the Sleaze we are talking about for this episode, the 1985 surrealistic masterpiece, Better Off Dead, starring John Cusack and starring our beloved David Ogden Stiers.
Yeah. One of his first roles, yes, Mike, for John.
John Cusack.
One of his first starring roles.
Yeah, one of his first starring roles.
Fair point. Yep.
Yeah, I would love to. I was actually thinking about it when I was rewatching it last night, and I didn't look at IMDb because I'm very lazy, and it was very late at night last night when I was rewatching the movie. It is one of his first starring roles. He was in a bunch of, it wasn't Brat Pack stuff, but a lot of background or co-starring roles in the early 80s.
He had a that guy era.
Kind of. I mean, he would pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like he's in Stand By Me for all of like 40 seconds. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anthony, deep cut. I would not have known that.
He plays he plays the older brother. He plays the nicer older brother.
Yeah, he plays the nicer
of which character?
Gordy.
Yeah.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Okay.
Yeah, he plays the nicer older brother of Gordy, and then he had, but he was in a number of like the John Hughes films leading up to this,
but always a bit character, I guess.
Yeah, like I think at one point there was even conversation that if Hughes had liked Cusack more than he liked Hall, that role in The Breakfast Club would have been Cusack and not Anthony Michael Hall.
Okay. That's interesting because it would have been. They have a very. I could see why John Hughes would think that, but they also, and maybe it's with hindsight now of looking at their careers, because obviously John Cusack went on to have a bigger career than Anthony Michael Hall, but it would have been a very different vibe if they would have. I would have been interested to see how John Cusack would have played the character.
And I think
I could see him trying to play it, but I think it would be a different vibe.
But I really do think that what you get with Anthony Michael Hall in that role, and we're tangenting, but I think what you get with that is he has not only that wide-eyed, nerdy look, but he was still at a point where his voice would crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he really kind of fit into that, I'm the good kid, squeaky clean, a little bit on the dorky side. Whereas Cusack, you watch him and he always kind of had a timbre to his voice.
Yeah, and you're saying we're going off on a tangent. It's actually interesting that tangent does lead to, you see Anthony Michael Hall, who didn't hitch his wagon, but was in those John Hughes vehicles, and John Cusack, for a little bit there, was the muse of Savage Steve Holland, who
Yeah.
directed this movie, and then he went on to work with him on One Crazy Summer. And I think that Cusack had that same type of mentality, and I think he works for these type of movies. I don't think it would have worked with a different leading man. Behind the scenes, after the movie debuted and Cusack saw it, he went to Steve Holland and said, "This movie stinks, and you ruined my career." To which he then apologized. I think he
I don't
realized
think it
that.
stinks. Wait.
Well, I think he apologized after it. He was still young. I mean, he was starting. This is his first lead role. And I think he realized this isn't going to be something that's a huge hit. This is gonna. I think even John Cusack realized this will probably be something that becomes a cult type of movie, but isn't going to be a Back to the Future. It's not going to be a John Hughes movie where it becomes a teen staple. It's lived on as a cult movie. But I
Oh,
could
and
see where Cusack's coming from. But I do think his mentality fits in, just knowing his background and knowing his interests and the movies he's been associated with and he's written and helped produce after it. I think that his sensibilities were more in line with what Savage Steve Holland was doing than what John. And I'm not. This isn't anything against John Hughes, because John Hughes has done some great stuff too. But I think it worked out where I think John Cusack picked the right path.
So you said this was 85. So John Cusack would have been 19 when he did this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and he looks 19. I mean, he does. Now some of the other people in this movie don't look like high schoolers, but
No.
You get into the main antagonist, and he's Dollar Tree Jefferson Darcy.
There you go. I was gonna
Yeah.
say we're gonna talk about Roy Stalin, which, by the way, great character name, Roy Stalin. He is the epitome of discount Ted McGinley.
Yes, he is. He is definitely Dollar Tree Ted McGinley, and I feel like Holland may have wanted McGinley, but you already have. I'm just going to call him Booger. You already have him from Revenge of the Nerds. Getting Ted McGinley into that. Do you? I almost feel, and this is clearly supposition. I wonder if there was the thought of, I don't want people thinking this is a Revenge of the Nerds vehicle.
Yeah, because it has all the trappings of that early 80s slobs versus snobs. You have Curtis Armstrong, Booger, who is doing his act. I mean, that was
Thank you.
him. That was
Well, he
him.
basically is Booger in this movie.
Yeah, that was him in the early 80s. Oh, he's got
with a slash top hat.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I love that top hat. I would love to be able to pull that top. I can't pull that top hat off, but I wish I could. But he's doing the whole Booger act. He's got they're up on top of the mountain. This is pure snow. He's snorting the Jello. So yes, I think, and that's what this movie is, and I think that's what I'm sure when it was released, that most audiences were expecting that type of Revenge of the Nerds type of movie. And it just had that, it was just a little skewed in that way that I think Savage Steve, the stuff he did, Savage Steve Holland did not have a long career because none of his movies were big hits. This and
he
one
had a longer career post this.
Yes, as a TV director.
And influential. I mean,
yeah.
While I'm watching Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer, my kids were watching The Fairly Odd Parents. So and you can see that same dry humor that really, for me at least with this film, really appeals. Is it somewhat over the top? Yes. Is it almost a vehicle to criticize modernism, to criticize capitalism, and also the way things are happening in Hollywood at the time. Really, I think that Curtis Armstrong's character is kind of a not so subtle jab at, because he's kind of working behind the scenes to make Cusack's character the central point, but he's snorting Jello. This mountain is worth millions, I say. We're
very
goddamn
much,
rich.
very much a Hollywood producer.
Yes, very much so.
Pushing the main star and also supplying them with cocaine.
Yes,
It's very 1985.
it very much is. It very, very much is.
So Andrew, what did you think? By the way, I know we're like stepping into our categories, but I mean, I think that one was you couldn't talk about any of the characters without bringing up the discount Ted McGinley right there. I mean, it's so super obvious.
I mean, he's so discount Ted McGinley. He almost makes Ted McGinley look like discount Ted McGinley.
It's very true. And I think his name, Aaron Dozier, he was actually the ski team head coach for Boston College. So he was a skier.
That makes sense.
I do like what you brought up, Anthony. It's very deadpan.
Oh my God, sorry, I just realized his name was Roy Stalin. I thought Cusack was calling him Stalin to like mock his,
no.
totalitarian persona, not like calling someone Hitler or something. I didn't realize that was actually the character's name.
Roy Stalin.
But yeah, Aaron Dozier, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, watching it again, because this was something that I watched a lot. We had the video. My brother and I would watch this all the time. We had the VHS tape, so we would watch this on a constant loop. You'd get into those moods with movies when you were a kid, and you would watch them over and over and over again. So this was something I watched all the time for a 6-month period. But it had been a while since I'd watched it, and there was always a lot of the lines and a lot of the scenes stuck out. But I hadn't watched the whole thing in probably 10, 15 years.
I mean, $2 just that lives in infamy.
Oh yeah,
I wish I had had the mental capacity to put on the shirt. I actually have a T-shirt that says "I want my $2" and has the switchblade film on it.
I love those switchblade. I can remember those, by the way. I think I had one. I thought it was so cool when I was able to whip that out and the comb would come out.
Yep.
Back when I had hair to actually comb. But
yeah,
I want my plus tip.
Plus
well,
tip.
sorry. My grandmother dropped some acid and she hijacked a school bus. It's a big family. It's a big family crisis. I'll get to you later. And that's just going into. It's very episodic, this movie, and I don't say that as a knock against it.
Explain.
I think. I mean, there's the overarching plot of him trying to get the girl back and not realizing that the true love.
That was a little. Sorry, I mean, I just want to comment on that. Like, it was a little interesting to me. He was trying to get her back because it seems like in my brain, it was trying to get the girl, not that. It's kind of I think a little bit rare that he got dumped and then wanted to get her back. But anyway, sorry, Mike, continue.
No, I mean it is. I think it's set up from the beginning that you're not rooting for him to get back with her. First of all, it's funny, but Cusack, or Lane Meyer, total stalker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do like the hangers in the house with her face. And
that was good. That was awesome.
I do want to try taking a shower with my socks on. Also, I like that he was blow drying his socks after he took the shower with the socks on.
I get that was a very good comedic vehicle to kind of show how distraught he is over this whole breakup. There's the dark humor in all of it.
Yep.
Because that now leads into, he tries to hang himself in the in the garage, and his mom's like, "Oh dear, oh no."
The mom was vacuuming. He walks in,
Yep.
She's vacuuming and says, "How was your day?" By the way, the mom, I don't know, is she flighty or is she over medicated? Great performance. Great weirdo performance.
Kim Darby.
Is it Kim Darby? Yeah, that's right. Because she was kind of that person for she would show up in stuff in the 80s and 90s. But just because, again, when you commit to if you're going to do it deadpan and you commit to it like she's doing it, it makes it even funnier. Because nobody's really commenting on it. David Ogden Stiers with the way, and he's great too because he's playing it deadpan in a totally different way.
Yeah.
But he's commenting on it just with his kind of asides and his looks. And I watch these movies now, and I always say this on this podcast and my other podcast. As a parent now, when I watch these movies, I have a totally different perspective. I had a totally different perspective watching it and watching David Ogden Stiers as the dad. Just with the smallest things, when he walks upstairs and says, Lane, the closet doesn't close itself, and I'm sitting there thinking like,
Yeah.
this is me as I walk upstairs and turn off lights. Or when he goes to get the cereal and all the coupons are cut out of the cereal.
Yeah.
First of all, why is the brother named Badger? Why is he named Badger?
It's not any better than the poor actor's actual like stage name of Scooter Stevens.
Scooter Stevens, I did see that. Yes.
But I think that the brother is in a very comical way. I think it's Steve Holland it does really grant a degree of
surrealism.
Not only just surrealism, but a bit of agency because the brother's clearly like autistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not hanging out with other kids. He's very bright in a lot of ways, but he's very quiet. He's building rockets made out of milk jugs.
He's building laser guns.
Laser guns.
And he's learning how to pick up. He's learning how to pick up.
Yeah, how to pick up trashy women.
Trashy women.
Well, that was so great.
With that guy all-star Taylor Negron, who we discussed on this podcast before as the mailman.
I know, right? When he showed up, I'm like, holy crap!
But see, I think that's the brilliance of Steve Holland, especially in this movie.
Excuse me. Savage Steve Holland.
Dude, I would love.
Don't shortchange the man.
You're right. I would love to be cool enough to actually go by the name of Savage Mike Jamison or Magnificent. I don't even know. I'm not
Magnificent Mike Jamison.
Magnificent Mike Jamison. But that's his brilliance, where he never goes over the top with it. And I mean it this way: I'm talking about Taylor Negron as he's walking down the street as the mailman, and you just see him looking through the mail. He's dropping mail behind him, but he's not doing it. He's not overacting. It just is. That is just him, and that is just
how
a character.
It happens.
And you see that the padded envelope that the How to Pick Up Trashy Women is opened, obviously, because he's reading the book. And then he stuffs it back into the padded envelope and just starts talking to Badger. Why are you reading this everyday kind of smut?
Yeah, you shouldn't be reading this kind of smut.
Yeah. And then shuts the door, rings the door again. Lane comes to the door. Lane, we've never met, but I just wanted to know. I realized you weren't going out anymore with Beth.
It would be okay if I asked her out.
And you still hear him as he shuts the door. Maybe take her to the movies and get some popcorn and a soda.
Well, but that running gag through the whole thing, like Vincent Scavelli playing
who I had as my that guy, by the way. I had Vincent Scavelli as my, because we had already done Taylor Negron in Easy Money, so I picked Vincent Scavelli. Batman Returns, Ghost, so many other so TV shows, and
Batman Returns, Ghost. He was really, what I think made Scavelli interesting is one, he's a Circle City alum.
Sorry, catch me up on that one. What does that mean?
Not
Second City.
Second City. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That I understand.
That's what I figured you meant.
He's a Second City alum. Yeah.
I'm only on my second cup of coffee.
God bless him. He passed away at an early age of 57.
Yeah, he did. He always looked he was one of those guys who always looked like he was perpetually 53.
Yeah, it's just a quick sidetrack here. He had an interesting career. He in this respect, he is in some incredibly
dramatic.
Well, no, what am I trying to say? Like acclaimed movies, and he's in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is considered one of the an all-time great movie. He's in that. He was in Ghost. He was great in Ghost. I loved him in Ghost. He was an
He was-
Amadeus.
He's the definition. He's another one. He's the definition of a this, that guy. He just was always working and would show up in anything. And he was always that face. You
Yep.
never, I kind of knew his name, but I had to remind myself. He's just the guy you see and you're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that guy.
And you know
He's-
it's going to be interesting.
Is it fair to call him a discount Jeffrey Tambor?
Nah, I don't know.
Because
I
Jeffrey
see what you're-
Tambor's kind of a discount guy himself. So.
I see what you're saying, and I like
Yeah.
Jeffrey Tambor, but I think Vincent Schiavelli was always really interesting because he
was-
was always
But he was good in everything he did.
Yeah.
That I remember.
yeah. He always had
loved him
that
as the-
weird energy. He had weird energy, but I mean that in a really good way.
He was great in Fast Times. I haven't had my coffee yet, so have a heart.
And he also has a
title of
mash.
this one.
He also has a mash connection too.
Really?
Let's
He
see.
was in an episode of Trapper John MD.
Mm.
I had to look it up. I didn't know that. I didn't know it offhand. Whenever I do these, I always look. I mean, there's the obvious mash connection in this one, so
Yes,
didn't have to look too
it's
hard.
Very, very obvious.
I didn't have to look too hard.
And my that guy was a little bit more infamous was Dan Schneider.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
talk about Andrew, did we talk about him in something else? I can't remember. Did we see him?
Before we just jump off Jeff, that sounds a little creepy. Before we jump off Jeffrey,
Jeffrey Tambor?
Vincent
Vincent Schiavelli.
Vincent Schiavelli. Do you know who he was married? You know who one of his wives was?
Who?
Alice Beasley. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you know who that. You better know who that is.
I know it is, and I could totally see that. I could totally see them being married.
Yeah.
And then, funny thing, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Alice Beasley? I forget the show. It might have been Moonlighting. Didn't she date Booger on a show?
She did. Booger was
Was it
on
Moonlighting?
Moonlighting. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, there's an interesting degrees of separation here. Anyway,
Which,
sorry.
by the way, this is the kind of bargain you have to make with the devil when you want to be famous. If you're Curtis Armstrong, do you care that most people just call you Booger? Because you know that's what they do. When I see him in anything, and he's at that guy also, but when I see him in anything, I know his name is Curtis Armstrong, but I just call him Booger because it's just easier. It's just easier to call him Booger.
I don't know,
I'm
people.
I'm sure as he's sitting by his pool and going to Aspen for a film festival, he doesn't care that people call him Booger, as I'm sitting here on a Sunday morning drinking Wawa coffee. But
Right.
Well, he's always pretty much played Booger, and and I'm going to make all 5 of our fans do the suck air shriek. But like Mark Wahlberg, has he ever really played anything but himself in all his movies? Like,
No.
really?
No. And now I want to do
there's
the.
a couple.
He's pretty much the tough guy, angry, all the time. Except for the one weightlifting movie he did with The Rock, that he actually played a different character. But
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, but Curtis Armstrong in recent years has been doing things such as like Supernatural, where he plays a very serious role. I think that there are
there's
points
Supernatural
where
that
people
with the
break
2
out of-
guys chasing ghosts. That show?
Yeah.
That we talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one who's a definition of he's had a long career. He was never a superstar, but he survived. He'll show up and stuff. But he's another guy too. He shows up and stuff, and he's probably going to give you a good performance. If it's dramatic, if it's comedic, he's going to give you a good performance.
So now I have to watch
there's a lot
Supernatural
of-
because
There's a lot of that guys in this movie.
yeah. So how about that girl's? What's her name?
Diane
Are you talking about Monique? Diane
Talking.
Franklin?
No, I'm talking about Amanda Weiss.
Yep.
Is she discount Elizabeth Shue?
I don't know about that.
I'm throwing it out there for
I don't know
discussion.
about discount.
Discount Bess Armstrong.
Well, she had some. I don't know if calling her discount is fair, but she was kind of the like Elizabeth Shue, the kind of the hot girl in movie in this era, but not as much as Elizabeth Shue, perhaps.
What else
So
was she in?
She was the head cheerleader in Fast Times.
Was she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Remember when she's like, it's not easy to be out here doing this, when like the paper airplane hits her in the face.
I'm gonna have to watch. You know how it's been a long time. We will have to do Fast Time. I haven't
So
watched Fast
say
Times.
I don't know how we haven't done that one yet for this
You're gonna
podcast.
probably because you're gonna know it better than I have because I've only seen it. I bet you probably like twice, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw Fast
Let
Times.
me get this straight. You're a kid of the '80s. You've only watched that movie twice.
You know, my parents were very strict. I wasn't allowed to
Oh,
watch
yeah,
this.
fuck you. They probably bought you the VHS.
My dad probably sat me down and said, "Here, son, these are boobs.
It's
Watch
under the
this
Christmas
movie."
tree.
Yes.
No, you know, it's.
Fast Times
I
and
don't
Eddie
think.
Murphy
I'll be honest.
Delirious.
I don't think I saw Fast Times unedited until I was in my teens. So I mean, it was a staple that would come up like that. And summer school, those would
I
come
haven't watched
on
that in a long
Saturday
time either.
afternoons in the summertime. Oh, dude, it's such a great and another one of those slice of life films. But you know, Amanda Weiss, she was in. You know, what I remembered her more for was A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep. Yep.
But
And which one was she in?
I'm
Which
considered.
Nightmare was she in
Those
the
are
original?
They're very the original. Yep.
Yeah, she played Tina Gray,
She Johnny
the
Depp's
one that
girlfriend.
the one that cuts Freddy's fingers off, and then Nancy
Yeah.
sees her dead body being dragged down the hallway.
Got it.
See, that's why I don't know it because I mean we discussed earlier before we went on there how much of a pussy I am. I didn't watch the Nightmare on Elm Street movies because I was a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've discussed how I could go off on hours worth of discussing horror movies.
So Amanda Weiss had a pretty strong career in TV. Various one episode,
Yes.
one-offs. You know, not so much movies after the '80s. Wait a minute. She kind of was a one a year. Okay, not consistent, but one movie every 2 or 3 years she'd pop up in.
Yeah, but
So-
a lot of these movies.
So she's a that
were,
girl.
Yeah, a lot of these movies were B and C. You know, getting into sci-fi specials and that sort of thing.
So
Yeah.
in these, since you guys know her better than I do, in the other movies, because in this movie, as I brought up earlier, I think you're automatically because I mean, the movie starts with her breaking up with Lane Meyer. You see her
She throws
taking.
his picture.
Right.
You
in
see
the
her,
trash.
and I'm calling them that because Dan Schneider calls him by his full name in the whole movie. You were supposed to obey the traffic laws, Lane Meyer.
Lane
But yeah,
Meyer.
takes his picture out and throws it away and puts the picture of Roy Stalin in. So you're automatically right off the bat. At least I am. I'm automatically thinking, okay, I don't like this. I don't like this girl because she's breaking up with our hero, with the main character. To me, she comes off as I have no sympathy for her in this movie. She does not come off as sympathetic at all.
No.
Andrew and I went to school on the East Coast, so we did not have the captain of the ski team to deal
Right.
with when we were in high school. But that's she wants to, Lane is not the most popular, so she can't go through high school dating a geek, and she wants to date the captain of the ski team. But I don't know. I mean, in her other roles in Nightmare on Elm Street or in Fast Times, is she more sympathetic or is she playing
No,
kind of?
she is.
Is she?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in even in a lot of these roles that she's doing on TV and a lot of these films, she's a very sympathetic actress.
Okay.
She does have a wide range of things that she's done, but I think I don't know that I would call her like discount Elizabeth Shue because I don't know that there's a whole lot of people who would make that connection because Shue went on to have a huge career.
Yeah. But I get where Andrew's coming
And
from.
yeah,
Well, I put some on a discount rack if they're kind of cast in similar roles, but there's someone else who blew up
I
bigger.
think Shue always played a cooler version though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like with this movie, I did not like her. Elizabeth
guess I'm
Shue,
thinking
I
of
think
it-
always kind of played. I mean, I know in Fast Times, and again, I'm digging through the memories because I've only seen it a couple times. But I think of Elizabeth Shue more as I mean, Karate Kid, but also as Adventures in Babysitting.
Well, see,
Yeah,
where I'm going with this is like Elizabeth Shue was kind of an it girl in the 80s and early 90s. So if you couldn't get her, you got Amanda Weiss. That's
And by
why
the
I'm-
way,
that's why I'm saying discount rack.
bringing up Karate Kid, we do know who else is in this movie. Chosan from Karate Kid too.
Yeah.
He's the guy. I'm looking at Andrew's face. He's the one of the drag racers.
No
Truly
doubt.
a
But I'm not. I don't know. I don't know that movie that well. Just Karate
I
Kid.
don't. I mean, I had to look up. I thought it was him. He's been in a bunch of stuff too. This is now that as we're talking it out. This is one of the ultimate that guy movies because you got Chosan, you have Porky, Chuck Mitchell from Porky's.
Oh, the guy, the redneck he kept hitting. Oh,
Yes,
shit, that's right.
that's great too. When he backs up into him and he goes out, he goes, "I'm going to make you." I can't. He says, "I'm going to make you use your life insurance" or something like that. And then, of course, hires him later.
Yeah.
I can't see him and David Ogden Stiers being cordial, but okay, because David Ogden Stiers says that he got Lane the job, which leads to the very cool, by the way, Van Halen.
Yeah, was
Van
he
Halen.
supposed to be like hopped up on something in that scene?
No, it's just that was his character. He was always daydreaming. She says it when he's drawing the character. She says,
yeah, like I mean, if you look at this kind of like a vehicle for One Crazy Summer and really showing off more of Savage Steve Holland's art, I think that it's really a means. I don't think he was meant to be hopped up on anything. I think it was really a means of showing, this is a teenager. He's gonna fantasize, especially doing something boring. Working in a barbecue pit / burger shop that no one's coming into clearly,
except for
It's
Roy
like-
Stalin and Beck.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still over here tripping out that his name was Roy Stalin the whole time. I'm thinking that was a title he was given.
I do want that hat. I do want the pig burger hat.
Yeah.
You're gonna wear this hat. I want to know who the girl is on the poster in the pig burger because she looked very familiar. I think she was the pinup girl. She looked if you watch it again, she looked very, very familiar. I'm sure I saw her in a Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue or something of that ilk.
Yeah, I do like who's the girl.
I do like the use of Everybody Wants Some. I think that was great. Like Anthony just said, in One Crazy Summer, he uses more of the claymation and more of the animation. And that's what Savage Steve Holland was known for. But yeah, I think it's I like use it as a vehicle. I mean, hey, I have a teenager now. Half the time I gotta snap my fingers in front of his face 7 times to get his attention. I think it's just showing that Lane is he's a daydreamer.
What was first? Crazy Summer or this? I don't. Full disclosure, I'm not familiar with that movie. So
man, we should do it because it's really good. Demi Moore, 80s Demi Moore.
Phenomenal.
All right, I'm in.
80s Demi Moore. Yeah,
that's all you gotta say.
I forget. Is Curtis Armstrong's in that one too? Yeah, it's Bobcat Goldthwait. That's right. Bobcat Goldthwait is in it.
What was first? This one or that one?
This was first.
Okay.
Yep, this was first.
There's a funny scene that you and I text about when Lane falls in the trash truck.
Yes, I think that's the second. I think that's the second movie. My brother and I used to say this to each other all the time.
The actor who says that.
Yes, who is it? Tell me.
A hell of a career, Stephen Williams.
He is again another that guy. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Throwing away a perfectly good white boy.
He has a hell of a career. Consistent work.
When I saw his face, I was like, I have seen that dude before.
He was 21 Jump Street TV show.
Was he the captain? Was he like the...
Correct.
There we go. That's what I know him from.
Jason Goes to Hell, so of course got to give him that one. But also in The Leftovers. These aren't Blues Brothers. Yeah, I remember him in that.
He is in the Blues. That's it. He's in the Blues Brothers also.
And to Anthony's favorite, apparently, he was in some capacity supernatural. I don't know if it was a one-off episode or reoccurring.
Okay.
But he has a credits for that.
Couple.
Okay. So give the man his props. And it consistently worked, always on something almost every year. So
yeah,
give the man his props.
A long time he was in the X-Files, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
good on him. Good on him. And did a lot of shit. You know.
Hey,
he
man,
he was in the last two, which I like. Mike, I don't know, you probably didn't see him, but Anthony probably did the more recent It 1 and It Chapter 2 movies.
Dude, I saw It with you in the theaters, Andrew.
What?
You and I saw It in the theaters, you bastard. You're like, oh, you probably didn't see them. Oh, wait, you and I saw them in the movies. Thanks for remembering me. I held your hand and bought you popcorn and everything.
But,
did you snuggle me during the scary scenes too?
I did. I was sitting in your lap. I can't remember. It
was 2017, Mike. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. Give me a break.
You can't remember when you're on my podcast. You can't remember when you and I
don't remember what recorded.
But that after I want my $2, I think that's the most famous line. Throwing away hate to see it. Throwing away a perfectly good white boy. I like how he's just sitting there and he's he just waves to them as he goes by. But even that scene before when he's on there and Curtis Armstrong pulls up, Lane, what are you doing? Buck up, little camper. The first suicide attempt was trying to hang himself when he says, wait a minute, I've never been to New York. I've never been anywhere. The second suicide attempt is
gasoline.
Is it the gasoline or is it jumping off the bridge? It's jumping off the bridge, right?
He's jumping off the bridge.
You're right.
The third suicide attempt is when he tries to, when he's in the garage and he has the car start and he's smoking a cigarette and he has the little bear that he bought for Beth hanging off of the cigarette. And it's right after his dad just fixed the garage door. And he backs out and destroys the door. And then the third is he walks in, he's got the tie tied to his head like a headband. He has his bed sheet like he sees the newspaper that says that the person had set himself on fire, that famous picture of somebody who immolated himself. So he decides he's going to set himself on fire when he has to sit at the dinner table with Monique and Ricky and Ricky's mom. And he has the what is it? Is it he's putting it all over himself. Was it it wasn't kerosene.
Kerosene.
Was it kerosene?
Yeah, like the
it says it on the bottle as he's just rubbing it on himself, and then Ricky's mom accidentally drinks it and lights a cigarette. That's a great scene too with the mom when she says, we have French fries. We have French bread. The language of love.
Toast.
French toast. And I interrupted Andrew earlier.
Yeah.
Was it Anthony who was talking about Dan Schneider?
I brought Dan Schneider.
Who is very funny. It was you and I, Anthony, who talked about him, I think, in one of the 1989 episodes when we talked about leading into like Nickelodeon and stuff. Probably. He is very funny in this movie.
Who was he? Ricky?
He was Ricky. He's very he was on Head of the Class. I can't remember his character's name on Head of the Class, but he was on Head of the Class. Very funny in this movie. The best
funny or disturbing? I don't know.
It was both. He was funny and disturbing.
I really feel like it wasn't a whole lot of acting, knowing what we know about Dan Schneider now.
Yeah, knowing what we know about him now. I don't know if Andrew is up to date on the whole Dan Schneider stuff.
Yeah, like he went on and developed like some of the biggest shows for Nickelodeon Studios, but really kind of
you aren't kidding. Holy crap!
Yeah, but he
like really all these shows you're talking about. My kids watched. They've grown out of them, but Sam and Cat, iCarly, Victorious.
But wait till you hear all about him behind the scenes.
Did he get meat? Was he a creep?
He was a creep. He was a creep.
Never out and out
out of the class. Oh shit!
But It was
Yeah, Hughes
highly,
never.
highly suggested.
Yeah, so he became a creep. So yeah, I
I mean,
think
it's
I think his turn as Ricky wasn't that too far from the. It wasn't really a he wasn't doing
yeah.
character. He wasn't really, he didn't have to go far to find his character. Let's just say that.
Yeah, there was no character work involved in that. Like
No.
he had this weird thing with feet, but that again going on another tangent.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider, creep. But he was good. There's the one part where there's two parts that are very funny. There's one when he's at the dance with Monique and he grabs a balloon that he's going to bring to her and it flies away and he turns around and looks at it and does a little hop like he's going to jump up and get it, but it's already blown away. And then there's also when Lane drives him to school and they go to lunch and they're all sitting together and there's the one really dorky kid reading the book and Ricky just walks up to him, picks the book up out of his hand and throws it to the side and the kid goes running after it and he sits down next to Monique.
So that way he can sit next to Monique. Like, look.
So yeah. So yes, very funny. Unfortunately, Dan Schneider allegedly is a creep. So
Did he go to was there
no, he's never. This was all in magazine articles and interviews with.
so he got Me Too'd basically?
With kid stars and stuff. So he, instead of going to real jail, he kind of went to career jail where he
got Me
stepped
Too'd
down and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on the other side of that, you have like Discovery did a whole like 4-part documentary into just the really questionable things that Nickelodeon did with Dan Schneider. And like Dan Schneider did hire a number of like associate producers and talent managers that did go to jail. So
of course,
I'm sorry, Anthony, you said this was a documentary?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Give me a second. I can tell you what it was.
Was it specifically about him or about Nickelodeon?
I think it was about Nickelodeon, but
I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't watch it. I stumbled across one or two or more than that of documentaries about young actors and actresses talking about their experiences. So I don't know if it was kind of like in that bucket or was it specific to Nickelodeon or something.
Well, it was specifically around Dan Schneider.
Oh, okay.
The comments that he would make, the jokes that he would make. It was called Quiet on the Set.
That's okay. That's one of them I'm thinking of. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot. I mean, there was focus on others because others within his camp like actually went to jail, actually have to register, that sort of thing. He never went to jail. He never saw a day in court. And at best, his behavior skirted the out and out creep and was more suggestive, and it could be you know how guys are, that shucks, I'm just being a dude. I don't agree with it. I don't think that's the case. I do think he was, if not in practice, at least in mentality, a pederast, but
he's a pederast, Donnie, sorry.
Pederast Dan.
He's a pederast. Yeah, actually, he was a pederast, Danny. Well, I'd like to say I'm going to bring the mood of the podcast up, but let's talk about David Ogden Stiers, who, yes, I love, but is also shuffled off of this mortal coil. I had him, obviously, we do our MASH connection, sponsored by the Tabasco Film Company of Havana, Cuba, every episode. So I had him as the obvious MASH connection. I also had him as our Wendy Jo Sperber memorial.
Passed?
Yeah, he passed in 2018. Passed in 2018. Yeah. He was 75. He was young. Yeah. He had bladder cancer.
was he in real life uh just a regular American? Like, so in other words, did he talk like this father,
He did
or is
not
he a
have.
Brit that talk? Did he was a British actor that talked like Winchester?
No, this was his normal accent. It is always weird to me to see him talk in interviews and MASH reunions or behind the scenes material and hear him not talk like Winchester. It is so
Yeah,
weird
it's
because
and
he always had that accent for all of those seasons and it sounded so natural.
well,
I mean, I
and
know
you
it's a little thing, but he's such a good actor that whenever I hear him speak in his normal accent, it's
like
weird to
Midwest
me.
Ohio accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird to me, but it also works. He is great in this movie. He is he knows exactly. David Ogden Stiers is very underrated as an actor. He's one of those character actors. I'm surprised. And he went on, he did a lot of Disney stuff. He did a lot of voices. I mean, that voice, even his normal voice, he just has a great voice.
Well,
I'm
and he
surprised he didn't have a bigger career as a character actor in movies. I mean, MASH will always be, that'll be when he passed away. That was the first thing they mentioned. That'll always be what he's remembered for. I am very surprised. He can play comedy, he can do drama. He is great in this movie. He knows exactly how to play the straight man and still be funny amid all of the surrealistic chaos that's going on
yeah.
around
uh,
him.
well, gee, this is great, honey. What is it? Oh, it's aardvark. It's going to be the next big thing. Oh,
Which that scene is
okay.
great. That scene is made even funnier that when Lane backs out of the garage and they look at the neighbor and the neighbor's wearing the aardvark also while
Yep.
he's cutting the hedge.
Yep.
But yeah, he's great and he goes very hot. Or even as he's unwrapping the
Yeah.
TV dinners and it's just the look in his face.
Oh yeah.
or
Eh,
or when
and
she's pouring out the various different foods. At the one point, she makes the bacon that she baked instead
yeah,
of
yeah.
or the
Well,
food.
and I think what's interesting about Steers is he really did have wide range. He was great on stage.
Mhm.
He was great on screen. Near the end of his career, he was in a vehicle on USA with Anthony Michael Hall, a serialized version of Stephen King's The Dead
The
Zone.
dead zone, right?
And he goes from this Midwest Ohio accent, which is really his native way of speaking, and he's got this East Coast, like Upper East Coast, Maine, oh yeah, draw that it like he could do everything.
Did he play the Stilson character in the dead zone?
No, he played Johnny's dad.
Oh, okay. You're saying that, and I hadn't thought of it, and then as soon as you brought it up, it clicked, and I said, "That's right. That was actually a good show."
It really was.
It was. It was a very good show. I think it was brilliant that they thought to serialize that and make that into a series because you can.
Well, and I mean, you can, and it did a lot to kind of. I think it brought a lot of people who had been written off in Hollywood back. I mean, because without that, you then don't have.
Reverend Gene Purdy.
There you
Yes,
go.
Reverend Gene Purdy. I think
Which makes me
that's
think
right.
of
He's not the
Miss
dad.
Miss
He's the
Purday.
dad figure, the guy who paid for Johnny's treatment
Okay.
through while he was in his coma. Um, and he's very good as like a moral anchor, while meanwhile being a very I guess you could say that Reverend Purdy is a very polarizing character in that show because on the one hand he is actually a good man, but he's kind of a televangelist. So he's still doing that evangelical politicking. It's such a
Shades of Grey type of character.
shades of gray character, but also a very faceted character.
Mhm.
And like he just did phenomenal with it. And much like with this, you know, I'm not nearly the MASH fan that you guys are. You know, I know. Pull my podcast card now.
Not many. It's okay. Not many are. We're
But you
MASH
know,
geeks.
it was still, you know, integral to my youth watching MASH. Winchester was often the foil to Hawkeye, and but I don't know that Winchester was as much a straight man in that show as he was in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I think, Andrew, did I talk to you about this? You know David Ogden Steyer's greatest role as
Go ahead.
as the Martian Manhunter in the Justice League of America pilot. that was
never
only,
aired. Pilot
that was never aired. It was only aired overseas. And wow, I mean he looks like the Martian Man. He looks like the Martian Manhunter if the Martian Manhunter ate another Martian. And I love David Ogden Steyer's, but he wasn't didn't exactly have the superhero physique going on for that for that pilot episode. But yes, he full green makeup. I mean, he committed to the role, so I got to give it to him. I could definitely see him. He has the voice for the Martian Manhunter. I don't know if he would have been my first choice to embody the Martian Manhunter as I see him in my mind's eye, but he definitely has the voice of Martian Manhunter. But yeah, I mean, David Ogden Steyer's big part of my childhood, MASH, this movie. And you didn't see him in a lot of movies, so it's just always interesting to see him in a role like this, and he is very, very good. He's very funny. Just from the beginning, he wakes up, he knows the paper boy is coming, jumps up, puts on his wife's robe and slippers, runs outside to put up the garage door. No. And I got you. And then again with the neighbor warning.
Yep.
But even as he's reading, what's the book he's reading? How to Teenagers and the Drug Problem or something like that, because he's afraid.
Yes.
He's afraid, yep. Lane, it's time you and I. And again, I did as a parent now. When he's talking to him, even about the car, when he says, "You and I need to have a conversation about that tarp that molding tarp that is lying in our front yard for the past 6 months." You said your girlfriend said it was, and I quote, cherry. When he's reading the book, and he highlights paranoia when Lane gets chased by all the paper boys.
Yep. But again, I think that kind of goes to Savage Steve Holland's brilliance, not only in casting but in writing. You know, all these things that are episodic throughout this film, they all build on each other.
They do, and they all, in the world that the film is making, they all make sense.
Yeah.
In that world.
They wouldn't make sense in any place else, except you kind of think on it, and it really is a surrealistic snapshot of a teenager's life at that point in time.
I always like me a good dummy standing in for a human when the paperboy chases him down the hill at the very end. $2, and then falls off the side of the cliff and is just laying there in the snow. $2.
He really didn't have a huge career, but the actor's name is
Sebastian Dugan.
Damian Slade.
Ooh, that's even a better name.
Wait,
Damian Slade.
Damian Slade.
Wait a minute, I'm seeing Sebastian Dugan here as Paperboy.
He might have been. Maybe he was one of the other ones because they had.
He may have been one of the other ones, but
okay.
The primary Paperboy was Damian Slade.
Primary.
The primary antagonist, when he is on top of when he pops down from the roof of the car and Lane's driving, and then goes through the car wash, and he says to him, I don't know how to swim. and it just cuts away. He just pulls up then. John Cusack is very good with the when he's like Cusack it's funny reading it. It was funny to read that he was embarrassed initially by the movie because as I said in the introduction,
I don't know why. I
I
don't
think
understand.
I think his sensibilities, I think he makes this work. I don't think other actors
No, I don't
could
know
have
that you
done
could.
this like he does.
But if you know, and you see a lot of the comparisons with Lane Meyer and his very like very no nonsense, straight laced approach to things. You can see some of like the fantasizing in his brain in the character from High Fidelity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where when he beats the shit out of Tim Robbins, which let's face it, all of us have wanted to do at one point or another. Um, you know, um, but in
Get your
the
patchouli ass out of
this
my
out of here
store.
store.
I love that movie. I have to watch that movie again. I've matured enough that I used to think that I was like the Cusack character and thought that was something to aspire to until I got
Mhm.
older and was like, all right, some parts of it I can aspire to, but some
Yeah,
parts he's just an asshole.
yeah. Well, but
And
then
I
you
think
get the
Cusack realizes that in the movie.
yeah, very much so. It is
It's a great book too. The book
it
is that it's based on
the
is
book's
great too. Yep.
fantastic. The movie's fantastic. It's very much yet another coming of age, albeit middle age.
Middle age. Yep.
Yeah, but you know, it's the fourth wall breaks that have kind of become. I don't want to necessarily say Cusack's signature, but they kind of have.
Well, even in Gross Point Blank, which is
Yeah,
another.
even in
I
Gross Point
think
Blank.
you
That's a great
see.
movie.
It's a great movie. And that's one on plus Minnie Driver in Gross Point Blank. Whew, my God, I had such a crush on her. But yeah, Gross Point Blank is. You could see. I think you could see that Cusack was very much. He was in. I would say inspired and took a lot of what he learned from Savage Steve Holland and took a lot of that kind of surrealistic and also off kilter and rebellious type of. And Cusack was always like that. I remember before Johnny Depp was cast as Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing, Cusack was one. I can't see it because I think Johnny Depp is very good in that movie, but Cusack wanted the role because he was very much. I think he was a friend with Hunter S. Thompson. He was very much into
They were
that.
all hanging out together.
Yeah,
Like there's that famous photo of Thompson driving a drop top Lincoln with a rubber doll, Benicio del Toro, John Cusack, and Johnny Depp.
that's right. Yeah, God, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
I think that there was at a point
Where was Bill Murray? Because
right.
well,
Well,
I'll eventually do that either on
where
this
the Buffalo
podcast
roam.
or the other one, where the Buffalo roam, where Bill Murray was almost killed by Hunter S. Thompson
Yeah,
for fun.
no, I think anyone who's ever hung out with Thompson was almost
Well,
killed
Bill
by
Murray
Thompson.
said that when you hang out with him and you're trying to, he was trying to do him in that role. He had to basically exorcise him from his
Oh yeah,
persona after 6 or 7 months because he just was in that lifestyle and eventually not many human beings can actually keep up
I,
with the good
it,
doctor.
yeah. God rest his soul, because I
Hmm.
mean, you know, he died.
It's very much like me and Andrew. I can't after a certain point. I just can't hang, and Andrew has to, or he'll take me down into his basement lair where he's podcasting from right now, and
Right.
who knows what kind of illegal substances he's going to give to me.
Oh, well,
But
if you only knew.
Me and Andrew dropping peyote in the in the storage room of his
Peyote.
basement.
yeah, but you know, I mean, I can see where Cusack, who really out of all of the quote unquote Brat Pack,
Hmm.
Cusack really wanted to focus on the art of filmmaking. And I think that he felt that once it was edited and premiered, that Holland made him look like just a bit actor. And I think when you're looking at, when again, you said he was 19 at the time when this was made. When you're looking at with a 19-year-old's eyes, And then because he had already signed the two film deal with Holland, so he was already on the hook for Better Off Dead. He wasn't happy about performing Better Off Dead. But then you go back and look at it with adult eyes and realize that this was a slice of life comedy, but it's done in such a way that at the time in the 80s, people weren't looking at it as artistic of a film as it actually was.
Yep. And it's just very different. Like you had said, Anthony, I think for then people didn't realize that it was kind of Savage Steve Holland commenting on all that kind of stuff, on the consumerism of the 80s and teenagers. But I also think it was him commenting on those type of teen movies that were being made at that time.
Yeah.
And he's taking the piss. I don't think he's totally ripping them, but I don't think he's specifically said to himself, I've never seen anywhere that he's saying, oh, you know what, John Hughes, fuck him, I'm going to make fun of his movies. But I think he's taking the piss out of them a little bit by your expectations of what this is going to be. And it's just totally turned on its head.
Completely agree. And I mean, for all that John Hughes did for film in the 80s, everything in a John Hughes film wraps up neatly and nicely at the end, with very little actual tribulation. It's more teenage angst and, I mean, even all the way through Hughes's filmography. You get into even like Curly Sue, everything works out great at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think even with the way that this ends, he has the opportunity to get the girl. He goes with the girl who actually is more like him than the girl he's trying to go after. It's nothing is really wrapped up neatly. His brother's, launching himself to space in a homemade rocket.
The paper
his
boy is
mom-
still chasing after him in Dodger Stadium as he's kissing the girl.
Exactly. There's a band I really love, Bad Religion. 21st Century Digital Boy is the name of the song. My dad's a lazy middle class intellectual. My mommy's on Valium, so ineffectual.
That's basically
his parents.
Yeah, that's his parents.
His parents. I mean, it is when you deconstruct the most over the top of this film, it is a critical commentary on, look, even in suburbia, things are messy.
And in 85, that was the dream of everybody. It was just to live in suburbia, and it was going to be that perfect house, and everything looks the same. Everything, everybody acts the same.
Even with the aardvark,
I still love
that.
Is my favorite gag in the movie. Is just the neighbor clipping the hedges wearing the aardvark outfit, because everybody's going to be wearing them this year.
Yeah.
Although I will admit that Badger got I think Dr. Doom's base from the Secret Wars toy line that I saw sitting there. I was so jealous. He also got a Tweaky. Did you see that, Andrew? He got a Tweaky blow-up doll. Beady.
Was that a blow-up doll? Jesus.
Well, not a blow-up doll, but it was.
No, I couldn't tell. I thought it was for a minute, or was it hard plastic? But it did look like a balloon.
Well, but
hey, I'm not gonna yuck. I'm not gonna yuck Badger's. I'm not gonna yuck Badger's yum. I don't know what he's into. I mean, you saw he was. Maybe that's how that was in the book on how to get trashy women. As John Cusack opens the door and they're all in there. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that was a good summation of what Better Off Dead is.
Did there seem to be an abnormal amount of grooming? It seemed like every other scene, John Cusack was
brushing
grooming
his
himself.
teeth, or when he sprays the underarm deodorant.
Oh
just
my god, the
Well,
toothpicks,
I know what you mean.
Q-tips in the nose. I'm like, good lord, it's the most groomed man on the history of mankind.
That's another great David
before
Ogden
I
Steyer's reaction though when he knocks on the door and opens it and Cusack turns around. He just is like, oh.
it's
I think it's a comment on like Anthony keeps saying is on that consumerism and on that obsession with
you have to
you
be
have to look good, you have to smell good, and this is what you have to do to be an acceptable member of society. And I think he's kind of just taking the piss out of that a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the Zmed-O-Meter. They did have the Chris Cummins scene with the cheerleader and the basketball team in the cafeteria, and
yep,
that was the
yeah.
one scene that I think maybe, and this is me guessing. I'm just guessing. I didn't see this anywhere that maybe Savage Steve Holland was told or thought, okay, I have to put a scene like this in this movie because this is what they're expecting. Where Lane has the roller skates and can't really skate and falls and pulls her dress off and she's in her bra and panties. But then he also plays that off where when they first say she's dating the basketball team, not a basketball player, she's dating the basketball team.
The team.
When he falls and she's screaming and the whole team just stands over him, kind of like Night of the Living Dead, and they're all just, "Argh." And he's walking out after that with his nose and his face bloodied after he's been beaten up by the basketball team.
I still think that in a lot of ways, that was still Holland throwing a sight gag in,
Yeah.
sure, but again, almost riffing on the teen movie. She's clearly the slut in the high school. She's dating the whole basketball team.
Well, I'm making the assumption, but I do think, knowing what we know from the whole rest of the movie, that he's putting his own Savage Steve Holland type of spin on it.
Yeah, very much so. And again, he had, even with his animation, like I think what made like shows like The Fairly Odd Parents able to be what it was for my kids and still going now and still with that level of love that the next generation had. It was something that you could watch as a parent with your kids and realize, okay, yeah, this wraps up very nicely in 30 minutes, but things are still jacked up. I mean, this kid's parents don't really pay attention to him. So he's got, fairy godparents who are kind of hapless and half-witted and like not really an anchor for him. So I think Holland has, with his art, he has really created things that, for one, guys like us and who are grumbling about getting up and having to mow and closing the pool and whatnot, we can look back at this and go, this was such a great movie because it was messy, because it was hyper realistic while still being classically funny.
Yep.
With perfect timing, perfect delivery, honestly, the perfect cast. And then we can look at where this idea sprouted other ideas, and you can go, it's not Family Matters. It's not Full House. It's not, but it's also not 90210. It's,
yeah, I think you find in life that our real life is a lot closer to something like to the surrealism of Better Off Dead than it is to something like Family Matters. One,
absolutely.
as a teenager, because you're always going to live in, and I think that's something with this movie is it spans generations in that as a young adult, I could watch it and totally relate to Lane Meyer and relate to the things he's going through and relate to being a daydreamer. And now I can watch it and find him funny, but relate to David Ogden Stiers and relate to being the father dealing with a teenager and dealing with family life and having to mow the lawn and having to make sure that I pay the paper boy $2. But I do think as you get older, you do realize that life is far more closer to the surrealism and unexpectedness that is represented in Better Off Dead than it is in any half-hour sitcom that you're going to
Oh,
watch.
for sure. For sure. And I think it's interesting to be able to watch it now and be like, God, high school was like its own country ran by a Stalin.
Yeah.
And but then you can, like you said, look at it and go, ah, this poor dude just wants to have a meal, be able to relate to his kids,
Yeah.
and not have his shit broken by the neighbor kid.
Well, I do think, though, one thing I've learned from this movie is I'm going to start leaving notes on the forehead of my son as he's sleeping. So when he wakes up, it'll just say, "We went out. Love, Dad."
Hey, I understand. Don't worry about that. To tell you the truth, I'm envious. I wish I had someone that was in my every thought. Somebody I could spend all my time with. Somebody I could really respect. Hey, look at the cans on that bimbo.
Do we want to do the Zmed-O-Meter,
Yep.
Andrew? You wanna? And this one, I kind of struggled with it because I wanted to do this movie because I wanted to rewatch it. I wanted to hear what Andrew thought. I wanted to hear when Anthony said that he wanted to come on and do this movie. I wanted to hear what both of you guys, what your thoughts were on it. It's not, and I say this in other episodes, we call this sleazebag cinema. It doesn't mean we're going to be watching hard R and NC-17 movies all the time. We just want to watch. We want to watch. Well, I mean, personally, when I'm by myself in my darkened basement, maybe. But we just want to watch the movies that we grew up and loved and see how they hold up. So this wasn't. I don't think this was a particularly sleazy type of movie. There were some parts.
Not for the age, no.
No, I mean, I'll give it to you right now. For my Zmed-O-Meter is a 0 for 1985. There's nothing in here that I
No,
think in 1985 you're looking at and saying and clutching your pearls. Now for
Yeah.
2025, I'd still only give it I'd give it like a 1.5. I think the suicide stuff, maybe people would who don't get where they're going with it might have a problem with it. There's not a lot of I mean, there's not any kind of nudity or anything. I know there's the one scene that we just talked about, but that's not that bad.
She's not nude.
There's
She's just
no,
yeah.
and I understand the whole Howard Cosell. I will say, okay, the 0.5 comes with when they finally fix up the Camaro, and I'm sure Andrew that you love that part. That Camaro's pretty.
Oh,
That Camaro is
That's
sweet.
It's
badass.
But when
nice.
when he pulls it out and he finally beats the two
Japanese
the
guys.
two Japanese guys in the drag race, they're in their car with two other Japanese women eating Chinese food, and I was like, okay, it's a little on the nose right there,
Yeah.
guys. But I don't think, and again, I don't mean to put myself in Savage Steve Holland's mentality, but I don't think it was meant in. It's the
No.
times. I don't think it was meant in any kind of racist or
Well,
demeaning.
Asian folks were a punching bag in movies, so
They were, but I don't think he's doing it. I think he's just going for the gag. And, maybe nowadays people will get mad about it. And I always give this caveat. I'm as liberal as you come, but I also will say that some people got to fucking lighten up with certain things. That's why comedy right now is dead, and we have to do a podcast like this where we're talking about movies from 40 years ago because they're not
Right.
making any funny movies right now. So I don't think I give it like a 1.5. I don't think it's something that really tips the Zmed-O-Meter. Andrew, what do you think?
I think it tips it heavy. I think you just can't.
Really?
Yeah, because you just can't touch suicide. That's just too heavy these days.
But it's not like they're showing him cutting his wrist or anything.
I
like
know,
that.
but you just can't in this day and age insinuate it, or I think it's just untouchable. It's just too heavy. It's too heavy in today's culture, and the Asian portrayal would I mean, that alone is probably a 4. That I mean, at least people will go nuts for that. So,
Fuck me.
well, you're just an insensitive prick. What can I tell you? But
That is true.
but that's my opinion. I just
Did my wife just walk down here?
see. I live in an area, and we can. I don't want to go too deep into it, but like a heavy population of a certain race, and so I'm hypersensitive. Like these folks, are politicking to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance. Da 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 da. So
Yeah.
that's my brain is that this
Sure.
stuff is just untouchable nowadays. So
Okay, I see your
that's
point.
why that's other
Not
than
gonna
I mean it's pretty minimal like in terms of minutes of the movie, but
Yeah.
it is pretty crazy. He keeps trying to off himself, especially that he did that one part where he's like trying to carbon monoxide himself. I mean that's
I do like
Yeah.
I
it's
said though.
funny the way it's shot
when
and
he's
done,
smoking
but
the cigarette and he has the bear hanging off the cigarette just makes me laugh. But yes, you couldn't do that. Oh, and by the way, which the song when they're at the high school the New Year's dance and the band is playing Better Off Dead, the song, you know who the singer is, right?
no.
It's Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
I'm a rebel,
And
Dottie.
and also I think portraying, and I don't maybe I might be over analyzing this, but they seem to show a lot of the basketball teams genital area.
Do they? I didn't notice.
Yeah, they walk by and it's like all their shorts and their package.
That was the
and then,
80s. I mean,
I
can tell you
know.
wore shorts back then.
But it's like where the camera, they're not showing anything but them. Plus, they don't talk. The lead guy leans down and groans like a monster.
That's
black.
great. I know that.
That's why it's another reason I think this is gonna. Oh, black guys are just non-speaking monsters that groan and want to pork white women. That's not going to play well.
To posit an argument here.
Go for it.
How many black guys did you see in any John Hughes films?
Yeah.
I really think that it's very much Holland making a point and doing it in a matter that now, no, you could not get away with that. But I do think he's trying to make a point that, in your perfect suburban world, the only people of color play for the basketball team and you see them as monsters.
Yeah.
Right.
Where do you have it, Anthony, on the Zmed-O-Meter out of 1 to 5?
I'll split the difference. I'll put it at a 2. I'd put it back then.
This is like the Price is Right.
I would put it at a 0 back then because really, like I'll go one further. The first time I saw this film was at my parents' church's youth group. It was shown by the youth director.
I
It was
love
the first
the
time
80s
I'd ever
and
seen
90s.
anything Savage Steve Holland, and
the 80s and 90s ruled.
Yep. But then, again, I did to Andrew's point, even though it's done and it builds the story one step on another, I don't know with as prevalent of an issue as it has become, I don't know that you can show even in a comedic dark humor style teen suicide in this day and age and expect not to get some lashback, if not be completely destroyed. And I agree with you on this, Mike. Recently, and I say recently because it could be within the last 5 years, I've seen people calling to cancel Mel Brooks because they accuse him of being a racist because of Blazing Saddles,
which we've covered on this show and was written by Richard Pryor with Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this on the show, and I've talked about it on other podcasts where there's nuance in everything.
There is
blanket statements and blanket pearl clutching about everything. Nothing is black and white. Nothing. It's like,
and I think that's what this film really kind of goes to show you, that nothing is black and white.
And you can't, yeah. There's got to be
I do.
there's got to be that element of danger and that element of subversion if you're going to have good comedy, because then it's just not going to it's going to be Family Matters. And listen, people love, we've talked to Anthony and I have done 2 episodes now on 1989 pop culture. I'm not cutting up Family Matters, and that's for kids and for certain fans have memories, but I think you know what I mean. You're not,
Yeah.
when you're going for something a little bit more adult and a little bit, when I say deep, I'm not saying that Better Off Dead is this deep, thing to be studied in college classes, but you're going for something that's going to last like this. You need that subversion, you need that danger, and I think that's what's missing, and that's why comedies now are dead on arrival, mostly in movie theaters and anywhere,
But
really.
again, I do think that, if you were going to, and please, no one out there listening to this, no one do a modern treatment of Better Off Dead. There are some things you
God,
just
no,
can't
please
touch.
don't. No, please don't.
But
Don't.
I think when you take something like Better Off Dead, if you were to try to look at this now, I don't know that people will understand the nuance of something like this. I don't know.
It's a different lens.
It's a very different lens, and I don't know that the subtlety of it would be easy for a parent to explain. I don't know that some of the representations that are in it are fair. And yeah, it's a sight gag, but sometimes those sight gags have led to the same level of what Andrew was just talking about, unfortunately. And I think until we can stop the pendulum from swinging so drastically back and forth, something like this, it should be taken with a grain of salt, especially like this is not something that you should throw on for your teens. Just, here, watch this. I've got stuff to do. I think this is something that if you're going to watch, you watch with your kids and you have a conversation about how, look, this was a very different time.
This is a pretty heady conversation for a Sunday morning. I need to go have another cup of coffee. But that was a great wrap up. I think I had fun watching it. I had fun watching because it's a funny movie, but it also brought up all of these kind of thoughts and all of these situations, and I was excited that we finally got to talk about it, because as always with podcasting, scheduling is the bane of podcasters everywhere. So I think our next episode will probably be recorded at 6 a.m. on a Wednesday morning before I go to work. But
Yeah,
Anthony,
excuse me, guys. I got to go buy a dilapidated Camaro and put it in my front yard.
Put it under a tarp.
Yeah. Amy will be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to run out to my son's baseball game. So I want to say to Andrew, always, I'm happy that we were able to record, because we do like 3 or 4 in a row, and then we don't record with each other for 2 months. So we're gonna try to do a Christmas episode for our next episode and do Trading Places. I hope we'll probably record it like for Christmas of 2027, but hopefully within the next couple weeks, hopefully that'll be our next episode. Anthony, I wanted to thank you for coming on. You've already been
Anthony,
on.
thanks for jumping on. It was really nice to meet you, and I love what you brought to the show. Awesome.
Yeah, I told you. I tell Andrew all the time. I'm like, I know these people, man. I'm not bringing duds on. I
never said you would.
No, I know. But I just want you to trust me.
You bring yourself on. You're the dud, but your guests are awesome.
Again, did my wife just walk in here? What's going on? But
without Mike, I wouldn't be doing this and spending money
Same
on
here.
Mike. That way I sound better, and
Yeah, that's not his real voice. That's like he's got like the
I
Batman.
just tried the filters. I threw a Family AI on there.
Yeah, I fully expect that we're recording this it's a week before Halloween, so almost November. I fully expect in 2026, Anthony will have either a podcast or multiple podcasts out there. I'm totally expecting that. I've put I told you, I've given him I've given him a taste, and I think he's already done 2 episodes of Pop Culture Basement. So, and this is
Awesome.
now he's Sleazebag Cinema. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
but
branching out.
Anthony, are there, do you want to give out your internet credentials, or do you want to stay safely anonymous?
If you look up the TIN FOIL Consortium, there's only one of us. So
He'll be talking about, I mean, this should be getting out within the next week or so, but he'll be talking about Vikings football, and he's a good follow on Twitter while a Vikings game is going on.
yeah, you can watch my crash out in real time.
And Andrew, of course, is lurking on Facebook and Twitter. I've tagged Andrew a bunch of times for the last.
Hey now,
I have. I've tagged you many a time, but this time on Facebook for our last episode of Pop Culture Basement, covering the Universe of Evil Super Friends episode. Your brother actually reached out on Bluesky and said he was excited for the Better Off Dead.
Oh, okay.
So now I think your brother. I think the next guest has to be your brother.
No,
I need more feedback from your brother, Steven.
No.
What is your Zmed-O-Meter for Better Off Dead? I'll read it on the next episode.
There you go.
But for me, as always, you can find Sleazebag Cinema on Twitter at Sleazebag. And you can find us on Facebook also with the rest of the 40 and 50-year-olds. Sleazebag Cinema is on Facebook. You can find me on Bluesky and Twitter at Mick Jamison, or This Lightsaber Kills Fascists. And you can find me on Facebook just under Mike Jamison. Do you guys have anything else do you want to add or talk about? Andrew?
No, I'm good.
I
think you were going to say something.
No.
Plus tip.
Plus tip.
I am gonna go upstairs and go through my wife's handbag so I can get Anthony his $2.
Yep.
And I want to thank you guys again for being on, and thank everybody for listening. And until hopefully our next episode, where we cover Trading Places, that might be recorded on Christmas morning as Andrew and I are opening up presents, because that might be the only time we can do this. We will talk to you all later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, kids.
Take care.
Stealing Andrew's line. Bye, kids.
Man, that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.